A gloom seems to billow like a fog over the earliest Alexandrian church history, and scholars have but rarely espied more than a candlelight glistening over the deep. The dictum of Adolf von Harnack is often on historians' lips. Quote, "The worst gap in our knowledge of early church history is our almost total ignorance of the history of Christianity in Alexandria and Egypt up until about 180, unquote. Other scholars offer somewhat rueful statements, such as, quote, "The obscurity that veils the early history of the church in Egypt does not lift into the beginnings of the 3rd century, or there are only the sketchiest indications of the presence of Christianity in Alexandria before the last years of the 2nd century, and we hear next to nothing of an Alexandrian Christian community until the end of the 2nd century." For some historians, the history of Christianity in Alexandria does not genuinely begin until the rise of Demetrius as bishop in 189 of the Common Era. In a widely cited history, Yosef Melez Madrzewski refers to the sudden emergence of an Alexandrian Christian community sprung up overnight in the Severan period, which bridges into the 3rd century. Problematically, this observation all too easily bypasses Christian figures like Basilides, Isidore, Carpocrates, Epiphanes, Marcellina, Valentinus, Julius Cassianus, Prodicus, and other Christian thinkers in early to mid-2nd century Alexandria. Perhaps all this is to be expected. Experts in patristics have traditionally focused on those figures that were received as orthodox by the father of church history, Eusebius of Caesarea. Eusebius focused on Pantaenus, Clement, and Demetrius and Origen as his religious forebears in Alexandria. This book, by contrast, focuses on the Christian texts and figures that have been, until recently, shunted into the category of apocryphal, Gnostic, and heretical. The focus, in other words, is on figures whom Eusebius did not recognize as fathers of his Christian group in the early 4th century CE. To be sure, the frequent lament that we lack sources for Alexandrian Christianity prior to 180 is justified to a certain degree. In my estimation, however, the darkness is often overdrawn.